From Fox 8 Sports, this is the Overtime Podcast.
From the Fox 8 studios in New Orleans is the Fox 8 Overtime Podcast. I'm Vasilios. That is Sean Fazan. Remember to like, subscribe, rate, and review. You can find us wherever you listen to and now watch your podcast. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that little bell notification button. You get notified whenever we upload a new podcast. Sean, it was cut down day. Lots happened since we came out with the roster projection video yesterday.
How about that? Back-to-back days. Yes, it was the day we were all waiting for. You had to go from 90 to 53. The Saints certainly did that, and we've got some stuff to talk about because there were some interesting moves, no doubt about it.
Certainly, and your new starting kicker, Blake Grupe, as Will Lutz was shipped off to the mile-high city of Denver, Colorado, to join his former head coach and Sean Payton. What do you think about that?
I was wrong. I thought both guys had done enough to win the job. So if you didn't have either resume, if you looked at that race and you thought, that's a tough one to call. But I thought Will Lutz's resume would come into play. The more experienced guy, kicked some big kicks, but last year he was inconsistent, had a tough year. And you never know what that does to a kicker mentally. The year before that, he was injured. So it had been a while since the Saints have seen Will Lutz at the top of his game. Here comes this young, fresh-faced kid. He's like 23, but he looks like he's 15. But he's got this confidence and this silent swag about him, and he hits every kick. And then look, it's set up beautifully for him with that 60-yard attempt against, who was it? Who they played last preseason game? Houston. And you're thinking, oh, he makes this, he's making the roster. And he missed it, so it was like, oh, what a great effort by Grupe. But it's probably going to go to Lutz. But then there was always that sort of back factor there that Lutz was something you could have got some compensation for, given your connections with other teams around the league, in particular one, the Mile High City. So they offer a 7. So it's two guys that can kick. If I go with option A, Will Lutz, it's a guy that can kick who's coming off a down year, and I'll let a young guy that I know can kick, that's going to kick somewhere else in the league, go somewhere else. Or I can go with option B, go with this young guy, the guy that it was in the shoes that Will Lutz was in when he was signed here, and I get a 7th-round pick. Now, a 7th-round pick is not great, but it's something. So they went with option B, Blake Grupe. I would have loved to know how they charted everything. I know there was some reports out there that he won it fair and square. I thought it was neck and neck, and if it was that close, and it's that close, and one gives you a +1 bonus asset, you do it. It makes sense. I have no problem with it. I was just wrong. I thought Will Lutz was going to win that job. So Blake Grupe, congratulations.
So the Saints terminated the contracts of 8 players today and have waived 26. What was the most surprising cut today, Sean?
Without a doubt. The Saints moving on from Bradley Roby caught me completely off guard. It was the most surprising move of the entire roster moves.
Yeah.
Because, A, he's a guy that's he hasn't been great at camp, but he hasn't had a bad camp. He is number 1 option, best nickel on the team.
For sure.
By far. And even with a less than perfect camp, it was obvious. And I mean no one. Absolutely none of us covering the team that on a daily basis, you know who we are. Mm-hmm. The guys that tweet us, that tweet every day, all the little things about this team, that write about this team, talk about this team every single day, that are at the practices every single day. No one had the Saints cutting Bradley Roby. I know that
I texted you this morning and we were both
texted me,
surprised.
We were shocked. Maybe finances come into play. I know they'll save a little bit of money. But let me tell you, this is the riskiest move, in my opinion, because Alontae Taylor, I know they have faith in him. He needs to reward him with that faith because he's not the same player inside than outside.
Absolutely.
Just not.
It's a gamble.
And I'm not saying he can't get there. Maybe he can. But until he gets there, that is a vulnerable spot defensively. I know you have also Agent Zero Ugo Amade. I know there's some things you can do. Big nickel, small nickel. You know, Tyrann Mathieu can technically play nickel. But on the surface, it looks like Alontae Taylor is now going to be your guy. I know they wanted to get him on the field. I just didn't know they'd get him on the field at the expense of Bradley Roby. So to me, that was the biggest surprise. And to me, that was the biggest risk.
Now, that was obviously the biggest. Were there some more unexpected moves that kind of occurred throughout the day?
Yeah. I haven't seen much out of Kirk Merritt, yet there he was today at practice. They moved on from Darrell Williams. They moved on from Ellis Merriweather. We knew it was going to be a little different just because of the tricky situation with Alvin Kamara, but I will say this, Kirk Merritt can catch the ball out of the backfield. He is nowhere near Alvin Kamara, but he has that skill set probably better than those other guys. I just think he hadn't shown it much in camp.
Yeah.
He has grown in some ways. He was banged up a little bit, so there's a little bit of projection there. I wonder if stylistically that mattered more than anything else. He is the most like Alvin in terms of skill set, so that's why he got the spot for now. But I wasn't expecting Kirk Merritt to be on this roster. I thought he had another year on the practice squad. Another cut. Caught me off guard. The Saints moved on from Calvin Throckmorton and kept Max Garcia, the veteran, at least for now. Throckmorton is not perfect, but that is a quality, experienced, young, veteran offensive lineman that has started for you and can provide depth. And we know how much depth along the offensive line has taken a hit. From everything I had heard, I thought they liked Throck. He was let go. Garcia, the veteran, was kept around. So, excuse me. Now, he could play center and guard, and maybe that helped him out. But that was one I did not foresee coming. So, that's something to watch. It looks like now Landon Young, Andrus Peat, Max Garcia. Who am I missing? There's one other guy I'm missing. Nick Saldiveri. Those are your 4 backup offensive linemen. The punter situation. I didn't think either guy deserved to win that competition. I thought both kickers deserved to win the competition. I think either one of the punters deserved to win the competition. They went with Lou Hedley. I didn't see anything all that special about him. 30-year-old rookie, so it's not like you're getting a young rookie.
Yeah, I mean, two-thirds of your special teams unit is
Australian guy. Yeah,
I mean, it's
Gillikin didn't deserve to be. To me, Gillikin has really fallen off, and Gillikin was the guy that pushed Thomas Morstead out the door here. A beloved punter here, the leg, and he started off red hot, but he just kind of fell off. He was wildly inconsistent all year. I think at some point in camp it got in his head too, but I didn't think Hedley was like taking advantage of the opportunity. I thought they would look around. Maybe they still will. And then look, the Jalen Smith thing. I asked Dennis Allen directly if he's a guy that they could foresee coming back. He said absolutely. I think that was more of a procedural thing. Cut him now. Because now he can't be claimed off waivers, so they could already have some sort of agreement in place. Because there's that tricky rule. I'm not sure when it actually occurs, but at some point, if you were on IR before today, you can't use short term on that player. He's done for the year. But if you use it at some point after today, I'm not sure when exactly it starts. You can be eligible for short term IR. So some of those guys had to be that I think are going to go on short term or IR are going to have to be on the opening day roster. So I think that could be something there, but it wouldn't shock me if Jalen Smith is back. But you do open yourself up to the riskier situation that what if another team called and said, hey, I'll offer you more money. What can you do? You took that risk with Jalen Smith. So those are some other moves that had jumped out. Everything else fell kind of in line with what I thought with the roster projection. So those were the moves, and you're always going to have a few curveballs on cut down day.
Talking about stashing players on IR, the practice squad is another way to kind of hide those players that you kind of want to develop. Shaq Davis being cut today, could he be a candidate for the practice squad?
Yeah, there are a few guys for the practice squad. Number 1, where's number 88? I mean, it's Shaq Davis. He is perfect for the practice squad makeup. I mean, he's an undrafted rookie. He's got great size. He has gotten better, but he's not quite there yet. But you don't let a guy like that walk out without fighting to get that guy back. We'll see if he gets picked up. Again, another risk you run.
Sure.
You have to. Someone has to get waived. So you have to take There are inherent risks from people that you may not want to necessarily say goodbye to, but you have to at least temporarily. He is number one. I could see Merriweather coming back in the practice squad role. I thought he was a guy that showed some growth. Not quite there yet. It's pretty obvious, guys. Nico Lalos, your guy, another one, flashed a little bit. But again, a little seasoning on the practice squad, I think, could do him well. And, of course, the guy we've been talking about a lot, Lucas Krull, the tight end. Oh, he's so close. He's so close. And perhaps if Jimmy doesn't have the game Jimmy had the other day or the other night, Jimmy Graham, maybe we're talking about Lucas Krull being on this roster because he was a beast the other night. He was a beast. But still, even with that, he had the drop. He had the one catch where he felt short of the first down and couldn't roll to get the first down. So those are some guys that look like practice squad guys, and they'll look at other rosters. But it's not done. The roster is not done. There's going to be more fluctuation up until the first game. And even then, it's never actually set. So don't call it the final 53. Call it the first 53 or the initial 53 because that's generally what happens. Because a player on the team now could not be on the team tomorrow. That's just the way it goes in the NFL. So it's a puzzle they have to put together. But ready or not, here the Saints come with their initial roster for the season.
Any final thoughts as we end this Tuesday cut down day?
Yeah, strange day at practice because I don't think I've ever been able to go to a practice and go to a press conference like minutes after the cut down day happened. Like cut down was on a Tuesday at 3, practice started at 3. So we walk in, and we didn't necessarily have all the guys out, but we can clearly see who was at practice, but the practice squad is not set yet. So it's just 53 guys. So you go from watching 90 guys to 53. It really, really thinned out. Pick back up with the 16-player practice squad. And that'll be that for the next couple days. And then next week, they're probably going to start game planning now for Tennessee. Why wouldn't you? But next week, they'll really get into the practicing the game plan for Tennessee. So it should be a fun couple days up ahead.
All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. For Sean Fazan, I'm Vasilios. Has been the Fox at Overtime podcast. Remember to like, subscribe, rate, and review. You can find us wherever you listen to and watch your podcast. We'll catch you guys next time.